From this place of desolation and sadness, we return to Chelsea, to the concert hall, to a party for invalid children as they call it, or Day of the Angel as we call it. The Rotary Clubs of Brockville have partnered with Canadian Aid for Chernobyl for 8 years, and in the most recent years have focused on improving the lives of disabled children by providing thousands of dollars for medical equipment, surgeries, basic necessities, urgently needed supplies, insulin, eyewear, and the list goes on. This party is hosted to recognize Rotary and more recently our sponsors. Most importantly, to present the children with birthday presents. The party is held in April and October, with presents for the children with birthdays in the surrounding 6-month period. The party is made possible with Rotary funds and is a highlight for the children, their families, and the Canadians. The children are entertained, play games, and sing songs. The delegates also get involved and play and interact. I have written the following in my notebook. It is impossible for me to express the happiness and emotion felt at this event. They may be considered invalids or invalid by their society, but today they see and feel that people do care about them. The faces, the smiles, the children wanting a sticker or a balloon, or to have their picture taken. It is phenomenal. Prior to my trip to Belarus, Neil Matheson, who heads up the Guardian Angel program, had told me the story of a 31-year-old girl, Larissa, for whom he was trying to find a guardian angel. She and her sick mother live alone in a very remote area on a collective farm. She suffers from shakiness and spastic movement, and as such is considered an invalid. The only work she can get is cleaning up after pigs and cattle. Last year, when Neil met with Larissa, her self-esteem was as low as it could possibly get. He had some emergency funds and helped by getting her roof fixed and some basic necessities. He knew she would not attend the Day of the Angel party in her current state, and also due to the fact that she only owned work clothes. Accompanied with an interpreter, Neil took Larissa to Chelsea and helped her buy 2 blouses and a pair of slacks, had her hair and makeup done, and she attended the party with a smile on her face. As I looked around the room a year later, a woman in a red sweater caught my eye. I could see her sitting up straight, struggling to hold herself still. But her head was held high, and she watched as the others were called up one by one to receive their birthday presents. Then it was her turn. I could see she was directing every bit of energy she had to carry herself with dignity to the front, where a bear hug and a kiss from Neil brought tears of joy and a true smile of happiness to her face. It was at that moment that I really understood how the smallest of gestures can, in fact, change someone's life. At this point, the aid is still being held by Customs, and we are waiting for President Lukashenko to sign for its release. This gives us a free afternoon, and I enlist the help of veteran delegate Murray Ferguson to take me on a walking tour of Chelsea. This is a very typical street in Chelsea. None of these homes would have running water. To get water, residents wheel their large milk can style pail down the street to the nearest tap, usually located within 2 blocks. Although most houses are very modest, they all will have signs of pride of ownership in the details, like the trim work or bright colors. There are a few homes that show some prosperity, like the extraordinary tin trim work and downspouts on this home. These precast cement fences were placed here by the government to spruce up the town for its 400th anniversary a couple of years ago. Since only 2 buildings were left standing after World War II, everything else has been built since. This Orthodox church seems relatively well maintained and has a lot of beautiful detail. Even the wooden fences have had colorful detail added. These pine boughs on the road are reminders of a funeral procession that has recently passed by. This building is the Belarusian equivalent of a YMCA. It is an athletic center for the town. It had been closed due to lack of money, but has been recently reopened. It has a soccer field and an outdoor hockey rink. Inside, safely stored behind the counter, is the lawn tractor that Canadian Aid for Chernobyl delivered a couple of years ago. After our tour, Murray and I caught up with some of the other Canadians at the orphanage, where we helped to unload some books for the library. The orphanage director insisted we stay for dinner, and afterwards, a group of us made one last stop. We visited with a woman named Oksana and her mother. It was her birthday. Oksana used to have a brain tumor. However, Dave Shaw of Canadian Aid for Chernobyl introduced her to Don and Shirley Green of Brockville, who cared enough to send her to Moscow for surgery. She's now cured and healthy. As I watched her posing for pictures with Debbie, Don and Shirley's daughter, it hit me. Because of the Greens, Oksana is alive. If it wasn't for the love and generosity of someone on the other side of the world, this woman would not be here. We would not be celebrating a birthday, and her mother would not be smiling. Overwhelming? Just a little.